Tired of the silence, the sugar-coated lies. Another headline screaming behind vacant eyes. They build up their walls so high and so strong, but the truth's gonna break through before too long. Every single day, the same damn old game, pointing all the fingers, nobody takes the blame. This pressure's building, it's starting to crack. Ain't no turning back now, ain't no holding back. I'm about to say it, yeah, I'm about to scream. Tired of the fake smiles, living in a dream. The real life's bleeding out in the cold. Gotta break the mold, gotta let it unfold. I'm about to say it, every single word. The uncomfortable truth finally gonna be heard. I'm gonna say it.
What's good? What's good, my good people? How is everybody doing? I'm late getting back home, but nonetheless, I'm here. Chirac Evil Queen, how you doing, bestie? Grand rising to you. Welcome in, and I hope your day is going good. I hope it's going good. I ain't seen you in a while. I hope all has been well. I hope all has been well. Tater, you made it in. You feeling good? All right, Lori, we'll do that right now. Let's bow our heads real quick, y'all. Let's bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to thee with our heads bowed and to give you the praise, honor, and glory that you so rightfully deserve, Father. Father, we thank you for your unwavering love. It never changes. No matter how many times we fall short or disappoint you, you still love us as a parent loves his child. And Father, we just want to say we thank you for that. And saying thanks doesn't really captivate just how thankful we are, but that's all we have to give, Father, in our weary lives right now. Father, we pray that you can just put your consoling arms, put your soothing arms, put your calming arms around our sister Lori, Father. For we don't need to know the battles you and her do, but Father, we pray that you just keep her uplifted. Give her the strength to get back up. Give her the strength to overcome whatever obstacle that may be presented to her in her life, Father. Father, we know that you can do all things, and it's only you that we can call on. You are the God of all gods. You are the true God. And Father, we ask these things in your Son, Jesus Christ's name. Let us all say, amen. Lori, I pray for you, bestie. I pray for you. And I want you to know whatever it is that you're going through, I'm also going to pray that God builds a fortress around you and keep any evil entities away from you. Any evil entities.
No.
All right? And anytime you need to reach out to me, you know, I'm right here. Bella B, welcome in. Hold on, y'all.
All right, so check this out. One of Donald.
All right, so here's what we hadn't really talked about celebrity stuff, but by the same token, we haven't been able to do so because so many things are going on the other front that we got to cover. But before we get started on segment one, thank you all who sent me heart me's. Please make sure you go back and click that orange heart and do your daily checklist activities, and make sure you claim your points. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please become a subscriber. Go and subscribe now. That way you can stay in the know when we go live or we post anything, and you get a badge put next to your name in here. And it's a really cool badge, y'all. And it says crew on it. And the reason why I say it's crew is because it lets my moderators and I know that you are officially a part of our news crew member team. And we are greatly appreciative of all of you who support us, who join us, and just fellowship with us every day. Because you don't have to, but you choose to. And we appreciate that. Like my sister and I always say, I have my tea out going for me, y'all. Like my sister and I always say, your presence is a gift to us, and it's a gift that we are grateful for. So please go ahead and become a subscriber. If you're not following us over on YouTube, please go and subscribe to our channel over there, G Smooth 404. And that keeps you in the know over there when we post stuff. Or if you miss, let's say you come in late to the broadcast here on TT, well, then you can always go over there to YouTube and see the show in its entirety and find out what you missed out on. Millie's in the building. How you doing, bestie? Keep double tapping that screen, y'all. Double tap that screen. Share out the live. Let's get all this work in, y'all. And I'm not gonna hold you too much longer. I'm just gonna go ahead and get to segment 1. I think I got maybe 4 or 5 on the billing today. But I got my moderators in here. I hope y'all are doing good. Peace and blessings to y'all. I love y'all to life and thank y'all for what y'all do. And we're gonna go ahead and get right into it, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and get right into it. The first segment, the video credit is going out to Harry Sisson. Great guy, covers things how it's supposed to be covered and always calls it down the middle. So I appreciate sharing his content. And it says, Cheddar Color Code, the biggest Epstein lie just got exposed. Let's see what he said, because there's a lot of them. But let's see. And it ain't just the Cheddar Color Coat Leader that's been caught lying too. I think we saw that yesterday during the interview. But let's see what he's saying.
All right, so check this out. One of Donald Trump's main narratives on his involvement with Jeffrey Epstein is collapsing right before our faces. His lies surrounding this story are finally being exposed. And the lie that we're about to talk about is a matter of whether Donald Trump committed a crime or he did not. And I'm leaning toward him committing a crime. This one is big. It's significant. It's something that you should know about. We're going to talk about it in this video right now. But one of their main claims is now being debunked right in front of the American people. Make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already. Drop a like on the video, comment. Let me know what you think about this story. If you're on Apple or Spotify, please make sure to rate the show 5 stars and follow along. It goes such an incredibly long way, but there's really no time to waste. I want to jump into this story with you right now. It is that significant. So what you're looking at right now is a readout of an interview that Donald Trump did all the way back in 2019 when he was president the first time. It's actually the day that his labor secretary, Alex Acosta, resigned because it was revealed. I mean, everybody kind of knew it already, but he got a lot of pressure because of the sweetheart deal he handed out to Jeffrey Epstein when he was working in Florida. When Epstein was arrested the first time, he got a sweetheart deal. Alex Acosta was integral to that. So he resigned, and Donald Trump was speaking to reporters about his resignation. And a reporter asked Donald Trump, and this is the official readout from the White House, 2 questions, please, with regards to Jeffrey Epstein. This is obviously around the time he was arrested for the second time. Did you have any suspicions that he was doing inappropriate things, committing crimes against young women, underage women? And Donald Trump said, no, I had no idea. In 2019, he said, I had no idea. I haven't spoken to him in many, many years, but I didn't have no idea. And for MAGA, who doesn't believe me that this is coming from the White House, even though you can go up here and read it. Let's go all the way to the top. Remarks by Donald Trump. It's coming from the White House. This is the clip of him saying this.
Becomes president so they can continue to rip off our country.
Sorry, y'all. The helicopter is going around.
No, I had no idea. I had no idea. I haven't spoken to him in many, many years, but I did have no idea.
I think we can collectively agree that was a lie.
He says, I have no idea. We just saw him right there. You can sort of hear the question in the background. Of course, the helicopter Marine one is being very loud, but you can sort of hear it. But you saw him there right there say, I have no idea. Problem for Donald Trump now is that we have this new document that for some reason MAGA is celebrating. We're going to get into that in just a moment as well.
I appreciate it, Glenn. FBI, make sure you go and claim your points.
With the former Palm Beach police chief. His name is Mark Ryder, and he talked about his investigation into Jeffrey Epstein, everything he knew. And one of the claims he made in this interview with the FBI is that Donald Trump called him in 2006 and talked about the crimes that Epstein was committing. So in this interview, according to Michael Ryder, former Palm Beach police chief, who really has no reason to lie, he's saying that actually Donald Trump called me to talk about the crimes that Epstein was committing. It says Palm Beach County, or excuse me, Palm Beach Country Club is a Jewish country club. A lot of wealthy people are there and they flock together. Mar-a-Lago is a mixture of everyone. Donald Trump told Michael Ryder that he threw Epstein out of his club. Trump called the Palm Beach Police Department to tell him, quote, thank goodness you're stopping him. Everyone has known he's been doing this. Trump told him people in New York knew Epstein was disgusting. Trump said Maxwell was Epstein's operative. She is evil and to focus on her. Trump told him that he was around Epstein once when teenagers were present, and Trump, quote, got the hell out of there. Trump was one of the very first people to call when people found out that they were investigating Epstein. So that's what Michael Ryder is saying. Again, former Palm Beach police chief. And as I mentioned, MAGA is taking a victory lap because of this document. For example, Benny Johnson said unsealed court documents detail how Trump called the police about Epstein in 2006, and he described Ghislaine Maxwell as Epstein's evil operative. Scott Jennings, who you probably know, unfortunately, is one of the worst, said Democrats find Donald Trump's name in the Epstein files, and it's the exact opposite of what they allege. Consider this hoax debunked. He's saying that Donald Trump informed the police about Epstein's crimes. He was a whistleblower. Donald Trump Jr. even chimed in saying, seems like a really big deal. Here's the main problem for all of these MAGA commentators or Trump family members and Donald Trump himself. This is why the White House has already distanced themselves from this document. Here's the problem. Because in 2019, as we just watched, Donald Trump said he didn't know about Epstein's crimes. He had no idea, right? No idea. But this FBI document saying that actually Donald Trump did know. And the important thing to detail here as well is that in 2006, when Donald Trump called, Epstein had already been investigated and arrested by police. So it wasn't like Donald Trump was getting ahead of the investigation and was reporting the crimes that Epstein had committed because he felt an obligation to do it, a moral obligation to do it. He didn't feel any of that. He reported Epstein after he had already been arrested to save his ass. And the real question I have for MAGA is, which one is it? Did Donald Trump not know about Epstein's crimes and he was telling the truth in 2019? Okay. Is that the case? He just had no idea? Or did he know and he didn't report them to the police? He only waited until after Epstein had been arrested. Which one is it, MAGA? You got to pick one. You can't choose Donald Trump was telling the truth in 2019 while simultaneously knowing about the crimes. You can't have both of them. So did he tell the truth in 2019 or did he know about the crimes? And MAGA won't talk about this. This is why the White House has already distanced themselves from this document, which I just mentioned. I mean, a reporter asked Caroline Leavitt yesterday saying Trump told reporters that he had no idea about Epstein's crimes during this conversation with the police chief. He did say, according to this recounting of it, that thank goodness you're stopping him. He also called Maxwell evil. Did that conversation happen? And can you explain the discrepancy? Caroline Leavitt is not taking the victory lap saying, oh, Donald Trump reported him to police. He's the good guy. She said, look, it was a phone call that may or may not have happened in 2006 because the White House recognizes the position they're in. Either they have to admit that Donald Trump lied in 2019, he did know about Epstein's crimes and didn't report it, or he was telling the truth in 2019 and this document never happened. Donald Trump actually never reported Epstein's crimes and had no idea about it. And by the way, we can say with almost certainty that the former is true, that Donald Trump absolutely knew about Epstein's crimes, not only because we have this document from the Palm Beach police chief who's saying that, yeah, Donald Trump actually called after Epstein was arrested, but we also have this article from the Wall Street Journal where they talk about Donald Trump allegedly kicking Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago in 2003 after Epstein tried to make a move on one of the Mar-a-Lago spas. But everybody in the spa already knew that Epstein was creepy, and
they'll customize it for you. So I'll find out, and then I'll get you that information. Just saying.
Donald Trump continued to send young girls to Epstein's house anyway. We also have this lawsuit that was filed against Jeffrey Epstein in Palm Beach County, where an Epstein victim said that Donald Trump had knowledge of Epstein's finances and his desire for minor girls.
I'll definitely get you that information.
So, in my view, without a shadow of a doubt, Donald Trump knew about Epstein's crimes. He was lying in 2019, and he never reported it to police. The only time he ever talked to police was when it was time to save his own ass. When it was time.
Now, the lights on the side, if you go on my page and go to my showcase, you can order the lights on the side from there. They're tower lights, but I don't know if you can see them. Hold on. You might be able to see that, but it goes different colors like that. And I just got them set up behind me. But you can order those off of my showcase on my page.
To come forward after everything had already happened. right? He didn't learn of the crimes in 2003, allegedly, kicked him out of his spa and went to the police. No, he did not. No, he did not. He waited until an investigation concluded and then went to police and said, oh, well, I'm glad you're getting him, to save his own ass. So the White House narrative is collapsing. They went from didn't know about the crimes to, oh, this phone call may or may not have happened. They can't have both. They got to pick one or the other.
Right.
So listen, I will leave the video there. Thank you so much for watching. Just had to talk about these remarks that many people are kind of glossing over. Not enough people are talking about it, so we're going to do it, of course. Make sure to subscribe down below. Drop a like on the video. Comment. Let me know what you think about this story. Let me know what you think about this narrative collapsing. If you're on Apple or Spotify, please make sure to rate the show 5 stars and follow along. It goes an incredibly long way. Have an amazing rest of your day, and we will talk soon.
So let's give it up to Harry for that. For sure. Yeah, check it out. We know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, one, you can't say that, he can't say that he kicked J.E. out of Mar-a-Lago because he never was a member there in the first place. He was a guest. All right? And so you can't do that. And then we clearly know that he knew what all was going on. Much love to you, Millie. We all know he knows what was going on. So that was a lot too. And him calling the police, well, they were already on to J.E. already. So you don't get cookies for that.
I find it funny for somebody who didn't know all this was going on, but yet these files took so freaking forever long to come out because they had to be heavily redacted. So, yeah. And it wasn't redacted because Goldman Sachs CEO is on there. It was redacted because he is on there.
I love that.
Allegedly.
Well, Dimple Cheeks, you know what you're gonna get. Biden didn't do it. Why didn't Biden do it?
Of course, because Biden was Sleepy Joe. You forgot?
Beyond his brain capacity.
Exactly.
Well,
right? Because what does he say? He said he has a brain, like his brain is mushed. He didn't know what country he was in, right? These are all things that he said. And they weren't allegedly because I watched him say it.
Right, exactly. I think that's what people forget.
He forgets what he says sometimes. He needs to play back some of his previous interviews and things like that.
Right. I agree with you on that fully. And also, yes, you are right, sis. Why didn't he do it his first term?
Mm-hmm.
So, but what we do know is even after during the first term, he had invited J.E. to the Thanksgiving dinner. Am I right? And there was more interaction even after that. And so he had already been in his trouble in Florida, so the world knew what he was doing.
The day, I don't know if anybody peeped it. He didn't even shake Obama's hand. Like when the exiting POTUS leaves and they welcome in the new. When Obama got out of the limo or, the SUV, whatever their official vehicle is, he got out. Melania shook hands. He didn't shake hands. Again, you are a person that's in a position where, listen, we're all petty because I'm petty too, but now you're an active sitting POTUS, and look what you did this week with the Obamas again. Like, he has to have people. He has PR people. Why are they not putting a stop to this man and telling him, listen,
what's up?
We're not telling you can't say what you want to say because you're DT and you're going to do it. But you have to think before you speak because we need Olivia Pope. That's just the bottom line.
Yeah, it's it. And
we need Olivia Pope because, man, his PR people just ain't it.
I need to know who is they because I always hear him say,
right.
They said, or they told, who is they? Because they need to be fired. Again, given the position that he holds, I think people need to understand that he is going to be held to a higher expectation. And I forgot what the last count was, but plenty of people are saying that he was not capable for the position he holds. And that's just what it is. It's not a I mean anybody could have figured that out. But I digress. I digress. On the second subject we have here, stick around, Dipple Cheeks. We have Marjorie Taylor Greene. I think she's back crap crazy too. But it says Marjorie finally said what she knows. Let's find out what Marjorie knows. Because, I'm still ill with her for how she treated those students at that high school after the pew pewing at the school. And I can't think of it. What was the name of the high school in Florida? Stros. I can't remember. But she was basically harassing the students and saying that the school pew pew was staged and set up. Hey, what's up, little brother? He said she's in the same category as Candace O. I like that comparison. Jenny says she's just trying to save face, but she's still MAGA. And and you're right. I'm guilty because when she started talking out and started, I'm like, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. On Twitter, I used to be on her. I used to be on MTG. I should tell her she is the Timu version of the Nature Boy Ric Flair. I used to say she was the caveman off of the what's that commercial? Is it insurance? Is it Progressive? I think I don't want to call a company name and be wrong, but
Geico.
whatever company is it Progressive?
No, Geico.
Oh, Geico. Geico, yes, the caveman. On Geico. I used to call it that. My little brother said, woo! Space Mountain, baby. I used to rag her. And my daughter lives in one of her districts. And I used to let her know that I am, as a parent, I feel like I'm a bad parent because my child lives in her district. Like, I used to definitely go off on her as much as possible. And then when she started to come around, I'm like, okay, all right, you might have it. But then I found out why she really did this. And it was because she wanted to run for Senate, and the Cheddar Color Cult leader told her no. And so now I got to question your loyalty. Okay, Millie, thank you for joining us. And we'll chat. We'll definitely chat later. We'll have our talk. I was like, okay, so now I got a question. Are you just doing this because you angry? I don't want you to be bitter and do it. I want people to actually see what they see and tell the truth. Have a good day. Don't work too hard. We love you to life, Millie. So let's see what she's saying now.
Marjorie Taylor Greene is going viral because she's saying what no other Republican will.
Video cred goes to Keith Edwards. I forgot that. Oh, PSA. For my mods, get me. Look, y'all, we need 3 donuts. We got 1. I don't even know what's going on with that. And we got 42 people in here. We got 5.5K likes. Keep double tapping that screen. I don't even care if you got to use your toes. Use both hands, both feet. Let's go. Let's get these likes up. Let's share out this live, y'all. All right, let's go.
That Donald Trump is implicated in these files and that he is the one protecting the most powerful people in our country, including himself. Thomas Massey is out as well, naming
Thank you for that. I appreciate
the folks
that,
who
little
are
brother.
in the redacted files and the co-conspirators. And I also have for you some pretty worrying news when it comes to polling. Let's get to Marjorie Taylor Greene first, who said this about the biggest cover-up in American history.
Jeffrey Epstein was supposedly killed. That's on an FBI form. That's not somebody calling in an anonymous tip or writing it on some deep, dark place in the internet. That's an actual FBI file stating what happened. And people are going to have to completely take in what they are seeing with their own eyes, what they're reading, and what they're being told. The reality is The Trump administration is not releasing the information. And I got yelled at by the president over this. This is why he called me a traitor. He called me a traitor because I would not take my name off the discharge petition, because I stood firmly and said, no, we're going to release the Epstein files. I'm standing with women who were raped as teenagers. I'm not standing with the government. I don't support the cover up of all of this stuff, whatever it may be. And the president got mad at me, and he's told me, and I've said this multiple times, he told me his friends would get hurt. And that's what he told me. And then we're seeing a continued slow walk and cover up of a lot of this information.
And we know one of those friends who Thomas Massie has exposed that I'll have coming up for you in just a moment. But and we're going to keep watching this clip, but I just want to say real fast that it's incredible. I think Marjorie Taylor Greene, I think she was a true believer. I don't think it was an act. I used to think it was an act, but I actually think she bought into all this stuff. And I think in a way that's kind of hopeful, because it shows that Marjorie Taylor Greene actually stands up for something. She believes in something. I guess it's hopeful because the fact that Marjorie Taylor Greene actually thought all this shit about Donald Trump was true means that if it's not true, she's willing to see things differently, and she's not a cult member. And so I hope there are a lot of Marjorie Taylor Greenes out there who are like looking at the situation with new eyes, and maybe it's breaking the spell.
And I know that is why. I firmly believe that that's why it is being covered up. Look, Pam Bondi works directly for Donald Trump. She is not out there an independent attorney general. She can't just run out and do whatever she wants. She works at the pleasure and approval of the President of the United States. Everybody in the administration does. So does the FBI. They're under the very same pleasure and approval of the President of the United States. So when everyone's getting mad at Pam Bondi, or you can name anybody you want. The man at the top is Donald Trump. He's the president. And he's the one that was completely against releasing the files when we started fighting to get them released. He's the one that called it a Democrat hoax. He's the one that, he invites everybody to the White House, but he will not invite these women that have defended him, by the way. They have defended him and said Donald Trump did nothing wrong. They have defended him, yet he doesn't bring them in the White House and support them. But what you're seeing is, if it looks like a duck,
that part,
if it quacks like
said,
a duck,
but yet all of you are still protecting him.
Or,
that's the
quack quack.
part.
Might be it might be a Lutnick.
Quack
quack. All right, yeah, and that's a good point. I mean, listen, I think there's, obviously,
those who are
either Donald Trump is heavily implicated or he's
to the
protecting his friends.
Exactly.
I don't personally believe Donald Trump has a bone in his body where he's like, let me just use my power to help someone else. That's not how he works. That's not how he works. Now, Thomas Massie went super viral yesterday night when he said this: in response to my post on X today, DOJ unredacted an FBI file that labels 2 individuals as co-conspirators, unredacted a file that lists several men that might be implicated, tacitly admitted that Sultan Ahmed bin Salam was the sender of the torture video. There's a email that says that to Epstein that says something like that.
Hold on. Who sent me that? He's talking about the torture video. Somebody sent me the torture video. It was you, sis? Okay. Is that person the same one that Virginia what's her name? Giuffre? Is he the same one that she was saying that when she was being raped, that the man almost unalived her during the rape? No, you said no, that's not him? Okay. I was just wondering.
I don't know if it is or not. I can't remember. Oh, Bella said yes.
Oh, Bella B said yes. Okay. All right. Okay, so now and then what you sent was the girl laying out. It looks like it was in a yard or a field or something. I'll say a yard. And They were talking about, yeah, on the grass. Exact. Okay. So yeah. Okay. So I was just making sure. So there is proof that these people were torturing these people not the age of consent. Yes, she was tied up all fours. Yup. With the magnifying glass and the sun and the heat. Okay. All right. Okay.
Torture video is great, something like that. Anyways, Tim Miller pointed out that Epstein's torture video pal is from the same country that the president got a $500 million investment from into his personal crypto company. This is all connected. It's all connected and gross. Thomas Massie went on to say that this is a well-known retired CEO. DOJ should unredact this. Why did they redact it? And Todd Blanche, who's running cover for all of this through the federal government to protect Donald Trump, said the document you cite has numerous victim names. We have just unredacted Les Wexner's name from this document, but his name already appears in the files thousands of times. DOJ is hiding nothing. To that, Thomas Massie said, here, DOJ acts as if they were justified in redacting the men's names simply because the document contains victims' names. Tonight, they learn you can redact victims' names while still publishing other names per our law. He went on to slam Todd Blanche and said, until tonight, no one knew who sent the torture video to Epstein. I went to DOJ, unredacted the email, and reverse searched the email to discover it was a Sultan's. Our law requires victims' information to be redacted, not information of men who sent Epstein torture porn. Good for him. Good for him. Now, Rep. Rokana said that at least 6 men are implicated and have been redacted.
Shipping
and there are 6 men,
is his partner.
Some of them with their photographs that have been redacted, and there's no explanation why those people were redacted. And Thomas discovered it through his MIT logic with some of the searches. But, you know, that's really concerning. It
is really concerning. And I think why Republicans should be concerned is because their support has completely slipped away
through this. Yeah, okay. So if you know anything about Donald Trump, you know that he built his 2 presidential victories on winning voters without a college degree.
And that was against the law.
Donald Trump's base with non-college voters is absolutely collapsing. What are we talking about here? Well, why don't we just take a look? Voters without a college degree on Donald Trump. Look at this. Back in 2024, he won those voters over Kamala Harris by 14 points. You come over to this side of the screen. What's his net approval rating with him? He is underwater by 9 points. That's a 23-point switcheroo with his base of non-college voters. He is absolutely collapsing with the group of voters that helped put him into the White House, Kate.
So how are these non-college voters feeling about 2026?
Okay, so you see this drop of 23 points, right? From plus 14 Trump to now he's underwater by 9 points. How is that impacting their views on how they're going to vote for Congress? Well, you see a similar story going on here, right? Take a look. In the 2024 election, Republicans won those voters, those non-college voters, by 13 points. Now they're just ahead by just 1, 2, 3, 4 points. When you can count it on one hand, you know that you're in trouble if you're Donald John Trump and the Republican Party, in this case, the Republican Party, when it comes to the voters in Congress. And of course, a 4-point lead among non-college voters is not anywhere close to being good enough because Democrats are dominating among voters with a college degree, up by 20 points. At this point, the Democratic base with college voters is rising, and the Republican base with non-college voters is collapsing.
There you go. So, I mean, here's one thing about dictatorships is you have to be somewhat popular in order to remain in power.
Texas, have y'all seen the TT where the gut says since 1990 executive orders have been placed to protect? No, I haven't seen that. I would love for you to send me that.
I thought I did send it to you.
You texted to me?
No, I sent it in our group chat, but he says that since 1990, all, whether they were presidents, hold on, now my dogs are going ham.
He said, I got something to say.
Since 1990, whether it's presidents, vice presidents, senators, House representatives, they've all put executive orders or it was some kind of order with a P in front of it. Like, but it's all, so it started back then, but in essence, fast forwarding to now, it protects all of them from anything that could come out about them in situations like this. That's why I've always said, like, the law isn't for them, it's for us.
Agreed. So would you, by you saying that, could that contribute to why Biden didn't or wasn't able to come out with everything?
Well, I don't think every single one of them that had the opportunity that didn't, it was a choice. I don't think they couldn't or they weren't capable of it. I think it was a choice whether it affected them or someone that they know or is close to them.
Mm-hmm. So they were protected.
Yeah. And you haven't said hi to Cora this morning, sir.
Look, I just checked the messages and I saw that, and I saw you sent me a picture. I was like, oops. She's like, look, boy, I'm going to, and look, I'm gonna not only say hey to her, I'm gonna feed her. I'm gonna try to feed her. Because we still got to figure out the pictures. What pictures do we have to see?
Me and Jenny handled it yesterday. We figured it out. We just started sending random pictures from our phones that we have.
Oh, okay. So that's what we got to do. All right, bet. I'm gonna feed her.
Jenny fed her this morning.
Jenny did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So after the show, I got lunch then. How about that?
Okay.
And you handle dinner.
I can handle that.
All right, y'all. If I don't, I'm in trouble. If y'all don't find me, y'all know what happened. I forgot. All right, y'all. So make sure I take care of our baby Cora. I got you, little brother. There you go. I'm gonna go back and try. Now, what you was talking about just now, though, Pink Tech, is that the guy that's in a black T-shirt, Steve-O, the creator?
The one that has the gray dreads. He's a really cute white guy, honestly.
Yeah. He got gray dreads. Okay.
So I watched a lot of his TikToks last night, and I thought I sent him to everybody because I know Let's Get Cheeky With It made a group post about all of us. So I thought I sent it in that one. And it's not just like the upper echelon political foes. It's like the rappers, like the reason R. Kelly's was kind of like a sacrifice, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And like what they tried to do, well, they actually did do to Michael Jackson, but I think if they wanted to, they could have, or wanted to be, I mean, I don't know. It is, I'm ready to move to Thailand at this point.
Doesn't it seem like it would be safer for us not to be here?
Yes.
And that's the thing about it is, before we got to where we are right now, we would say that in a joking manner. And now when we say it, it's like time is of the essence. Like it needs to hurry up and happen like yesterday.
And then yesterday, like 1,000 teachers in Arizona went on strike. Like they quit their jobs because of the public school system and how they're trying to literally take control of children, which is scary.
Yeah, it is. I saw that. I watch ABC 15 every night. So yeah, that's on there, and they was talking about it, and And then I also think about this when I hear that. Jenny was mentioning this company, this photography company, or I think it was, right? The Midnight, wasn't it Midnight Productions or something
Life
like that?
Touch.
Midnight Productions in Arizona, but it's worldwide.
Yeah.
There's a school photographer company called Life Touch, something to that effect. Which
Life Touch.
Just in that name alone makes you say, yeah, why didn't we catch on to that?
Right. Life and Touch. Wait a minute. Hold
Life
on now.
Touch.
Yeah.
They do school photos. All these kids that turn up missing.
And daycares.
Yeah. And
catalogs.
They use the pictures for corn. out.
They-
Well, no, they were sending Life Touch to like the poorest like daycares and stuff where nobody would even buy it, and still making them take their pictures.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
What do you think that was for, y'all?
Catalogs.
To create a catalog.
Because at the end of the
Like
day,
the
they
old
have the
Sears
negatives.
catalogs that we used to go through to pick out what we wanted for Christmas. They
Yeah.
make Life Touch catalogs of us, our children, our nieces, nephews. Like, it's sickening.
Yeah, yeah. I just want to. I thank y'all for saying it. I want to make sure the people in the chat know. You know, some people don't know what we're talking about. They haven't heard it, so
And
when we say it,
they could take all the pictures away from them all they want. They got the negatives. They still have all of the blueprint. So you gotta take the blueprint with the photos. Confiscating the photos, that does nothing. They could just go take them negatives and make them all over again.
they can reproduce them.
Life Touch does graduations too. I remember when I had to break off my first graduating kids' cap and gown and announcements and all that. It was like $680. I was like, bro, y'all making a killing. Not only are they making a killing off of us, they're making a killing off of the pictures we are paying them to take of our children and capitalizing on them.
Real
Didn't they say that? Remember the milk cartons they used to put the missing kids on? Didn't they say that's tied to it as well?
Yeah, starting back in 1980.
Yep. So y'all in the live that didn't know, make sure y'all retain this. Make sure you make people aware. And if you're a parent, now you know exactly. And if you're a parent and your child or children are in school, when those school pictures come back around, pay attention.
No, don't let them take their pictures. They don't have to take the pictures where your kid won't be in the yearbook. I don't give a damn about a yearbook.
Look,
you make me pay
mine isn't
$300
going to
for
school.
it.
Mine is not even going to school.
I don't blame you on that. I
It's
told
just,
my kids, I said, wait, I know y'all are getting older and you're probably itching to have kids. Just give me a few more years so they can be homeschooled and we don't have to worry about none of this. Because, you know, to our kids, to them, it's just like, oh, it's another political war or whatever. But it's like, I think this is just the beginning.
yeah, I think Bella B was saying that too. It's the tip of the iceberg right now. We hadn't even.
Yeah, it's got to get worse before it's going to get better.
Well, I'm not sure how it can get better at this point.
It's going to take a. We're going to have to really tear everything down from the inside if possible. We're going to have to tear everything down and just completely rebuild. And I don't know who we could actually trust to rebuild it in a way that it would be beneficial to everybody and it'd be trustworthy for everybody. You know, that's the scary part about it. Now, given all of this, I also there's a group, a hip hop group called the Grave Diggers, and they have a song and it says fairy tales. And now I get it. It was a hot song in the '90s, but it is just a hot message right now in that. And so, and if you all haven't heard it, y'all go and listen to it. Grave Diggers, fairy tales. I'm sure you have, Pink Tech. I'm sure you know about it.
Yeah, there's what's the other song I've seen it quite a few songs on TikTok where people are putting the lyrics out, and they're from like the late '90s, maybe mid '90s, where it talks about, you know, they're farming babies, the blood is on the table, and like back then we just used to listen to the songs and just, you know, even if we knew the verbiage or what they were saying, it just never clicked. At least it didn't for me.
Me neither.
But now it's like, oh my gosh, I feel like I was an accomplice.
It's like, oh, I didn't catch that. Yeah, it does.
No, they changed the lyric.
Like,
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you good, sis. I'm listening.
They changed the lyrics on Spotify to that, so it does not say farming babies. Did anybody know that? They changed it.
Well,
so
I'm
it
sure they
doesn't-
did on Spotify.
Yeah.
But I mean, just like that, what do they call it? The Mandela effect? Like how Chick-fil-A used to be spelled a different way, now it's spelled this way. And I mean, there's a whole bunch of them. Like they say that Sinbad wasn't in, the movie. Oh my, the genie movie with him.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
saying he was never in that movie. Yes, he was. We used to watch that movie all the time.
Kazam. Kazam.
Kazam, yeah. Like he what?
I thought that was Shaq.
No.
No,
Yeah,
it was. Hold on.
Shaq was in one, and then it was
I remember Sinbad being in one too. Yeah, I thought his was.
Maybe I'm
You're
thinking
right.
about the
You're right.
wrong movie, Matthew. But it was. Hold on. I'm at my desk. I will return.
Okay. Well, look. Let me know when you got that, and I'm gonna finish out seg 2, and then you let us know what you got. Okay.
Okay.
It like there is no way around it. Now, some ways that you can do that is by with Putin. He has China does this too. They have a propaganda system in that country where the truth actually never comes out. Putin's always the hero, and America or someone else is always the enemy. And unfortunately for Trump, our news media, though he's trying to control it, it's too bifurcated still.
Casey, boy, it was good with you.
Welcome in. This one here, which by the way, you should like and subscribe to help grow our voice. And so the truth still gets out. The truth has been out. People are seeing not only the fact that prices are up, jobs are collapsing, but also people are getting executed in the streets. And then with the Epstein stuff, Trump's just not going to survive this. He might be able to try. He might try to hold on to power. He won't be able to. There's just no base that wants to support a third term of this, or even I think a Republican-controlled Congress after the midterms. So this is all very hopeful stuff. It's tied to some really gross conduct, but perhaps the reckoning Trump gets is he no longer has power in the way that he has right now ever again.
All right, let's get that up to Keith Edwards. We're going to take a pause for a minute, y'all. That's the second segment. We're going to pause on it for a minute before we move on to our third. When we move on to that third segment, we are going to get into some more sinister stuff that came out on the news. Allegedly. I have to say allegedly. But so far, what we've already heard and discussed and talked about, little brother, what's your thoughts on it? We'll start with you. Little brother?
Oh, Matthew. Hello.
Okay, we'll move on. Let's go to you, Dimple Cheeks. He clearly is working.
When you said more sinister, as opposed to what? As we haven't had enough already? How can it be possibly any more? My Lord.
Touche.
You know what's scary? Like I was saying yesterday. I think I said it yesterday. I don't know. I talk too much.
Okay,
We laugh about it, and I don't think we're laughing about it as it's a joke and it's funny and it's haha. I think we're like so numb in our mind now. Our minds are just trying to process everything that's happening because things were put in our face for so many years. And it wasn't until now that we're now connecting the pieces and the dots, and we're like, well, damn. Like, for instance, the photography. We all grew up as kids, taking school photos. And to hear now that was like something we should have been paying attention to. Wow. So that's what has me like a little unsettled is the fact that all of these things are blatantly open. They're blatantly open right in our faces, and we're just like, all we could do is laugh because we don't know how else to react because we're living in scary times.
Yeah.
It's just like I'm sitting here, I'm going, oh my God, couldn't it get any worse? But I'm not laughing because I find it comical. I find it like, wow, mind blowing.
Right.
And
because it was innocent to us, and now we see
Right.
what we thought was innocent wasn't.
Right. And it's really scary. Like my girlfriend last night, she was like, we went to dinner, for my birthday, and she was like, she has an 8-year-old daughter, and she likes to go on YouTube and watch some things on YouTube, kid friend, and I use the word kid friendly, but I told her nothing today is kid friendly. You have got to watch. I don't agree that she should be on YouTube, but that's not my child, that's not my business. But as your friend, I will say watch carefully, because that's how it starts. The catfishing. And you think your kid is talking to another kid, but it's a grown folk
No doubt.
So these are just scary times, where I just want to say, like, these are just scary times that we're living in. How each day more and more stuff is coming out that we never really thought to think about, and now we have a lot to think about.
True. I agree with you fully.
It's crazy. I think Matthew's back. Go ahead, Matthew. Take the floor.
Can you target? Are you still? I think he said he's not able to right at the moment in the
Okay.
chat.
Oh, okay.
That's all right. Baby mama, what you got to say?
So it is Shazam, but they're saying Sinbad was never in that movie. I can't find the person's name that they said is in it, but like the Berenstain Bears, Curious George, they said I remember Curious George having a tail. They said he does not have a tail. The way they spell the Berenstain Bears. I still have the original book from like 40 years ago, and it is definitely not spelled the way that. So I don't have any grandkids, but some of the kids that I've raised do have kids, so they're my grandkids. So their new books that I have bought them are completely different than the books that I have.
So how's the spelling?
It is. So now they spell it T-A-I-N, bears. It used to be T-E-I-N.
Yeah. Yep.
And they're saying it's always been T-A-I-N, Tane, versus teen.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That was my family. That was a lot. That's a lot.
Right?
That's a lot.
Oscar Mayer, it used to have an E in it. Now it has an A.
So what was the significance or reasoning for them to change it?
I don't know. I think it's to change things and see what the people actually notice or call to the table. Because if we don't realize it, then that gives them more option to kind of slide more under our nose.
Got you on that. I never even know. I didn't know they changed it. So you enlightened me on that.
Fruit Loops.
Yeah, absolutely.
It used to be fruit. Now it's F-R-O-O-T.
Yeah, when it was the actual word for you, right?
Yeah.
You're right. Bella B
And the
said
Monopoly
Mandela
man,
effect.
he doesn't have his magnifying glass on his eye anymore.
What? What? You know, they repackage stuff, and I get that, but you don't have to change stuff.
I think that's also because, unfortunate for us, we're in a woke world now. What we thought we would never think the Planters peanut holding what is it they call it, the eye spectacle or whatever, just the one eye. We never, what's the big deal in that? He's holding up one lens. To some people, that's a message that he's trying to send. And then they protest and complain. And then the companies don't want to lose business. So they bend it like Beckham. And that's where we're at. So some of those things, like the Fruit Loop thing, I'm going to because I don't even pay attention to some of that stuff, but I'm going to now. But I remember you had the name brand cereals, and then you had the quote unquote bootleg, like the store's version. So they had to switch the names up a little bit. So I'm gonna
Right.
see if they still, at least over here where I live, if they still have it as fruit or if they have it as, with the OO. Because I know
Yeah,
sometimes,
check it out.
and then you could tell because the bootleg cereal is not in a box; it's in a plastic
It's in a
bag.
bag. Yeah.
That's
It's
like
in a pillowcase, a clear
you
pillowcase.
couldn't afford a $6 box, which that in itself, $6 for cereal is insane.
Mm-hmm.
$6 for cereal. That's the brand name. You want the real Fruit Loops, you're gonna pay $10.99 for the little baby
Yeah, it's
ones.
crazy, crazy. I'm like, oh, just leave me my scrambled eggs.
My little brother said, okay, using woke in the way of things change isn't the right term. Mandela effect is the right term. Okay. I think, yeah, and I think Bella B was saying it too. Mandela effect is what we have to
Yeah,
what we
it's just out of bounds. That's what it is. Out of
So
bounds.
another one is Forrest Gump. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
mm-hmm.
Now it is life was like a box of chocolates. You may not be happy with what you get. What in
That
the
is
entire
so
effery is
not what
going
he said in
on?
the original movie. That is not what he said in that original movie.
Well, we also know what's up with Tom Hanks these days, so
Yeah.
Hanky
he
panky.
did a
Yeah.
little Russell Simmons type stuff. So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that broke my heart because I always thought he was a phenomenal actor, very
Now we know
talented,
why.
and he
Leah
was always
Leah.
known for his comical genius. But after seeing Philadelphia, like I really
Yeah.
saw the depth of his talent, and then fast
It
forward all
is.
these years, and then what it's become now, very disheartening. But that's again, this is life.
Yeah. Things is coming out. My little brother said, wait, what? Who's talking about who's talking about that? He said, what's wrong with Tom Hanks? Tom Hanks is not what we thought he was,
Matthew,
little
go down
brother.
the rabbit hole. Tom Hanks and his wife had to do a little skippity pat boom boom out of the country because they was involved in some stuff. So
His son came
allegedly,
out about it.
huh?
Tom Hanks' son came out
His
about
son.
it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Matthew, I was
Demetrius.
just as shocked. I was like, oh no, not you too.
Who?
Yeah.
Demetrius. Demetrius Supreme. Shazam did exist. See where Demetrius
At least
Supreme says
one
Shazam
other
never existed? If
actor.
it did, at least one other actor would be mentioned in the movie. There are none. Yo, if you're looking on Google, you're looking in the wrong place, sir. I'm just saying. Maybe I don't know how old you are, but I know I'm pretty damn close to 50. And Shazam was a big movie when I was a kid.
Matthew said Mike R. But that's why.
Yeah, Shaq
Oh,
was
he
in
said Shaq was
Kazam.
Kazam. Okay, okay. It might have been a different because it got me too. I mean, she said Shazam, and I thought Kazam too, but it's two different movies.
So, but the rabbit hole about Sinbad and Shaq is they brought Shaq in to replace Sinbad because Sinbad was kind of like revolting against the quote unquote system. So you notice they brought Shaq in, and then Sinbad just kind of floated off because he was going through his own thing. Maybe he had an experience that wasn't so great. I'm not sure, but they successfully did that.
That's because they keep doing a lot of these reboots and then they change the storyline. So while one hand they're technically reboots,
Big Mel.
the other hand they just turn out to be entirely different movies. And Sinbad almost died. Sinbad had a really bad stroke.
Yeah.
So he's been out of the public eye for quite some time now. And come to find out, because of course the narrative's got to start flowing, they are kind of leading towards he had that stroke because of bop 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 what's going on in Hollywood. So again, these are stories that I guess in time we'll know if there's any truth behind them or not, but he did almost lose his life. It was a very, very bad stroke.
Leah said he was in Straw. Who was in Straw, Leah? Okay, while we waiting for Leah to help us on that. Um, oh, Sinbad. Okay, got you. I was somebody's comment. Just was that my little brother? Yeah. Oh, he was talking to Big Mel. It's a kid movie, which at the time me and my brother enjoyed the Shaq Genie movie. Okay, I was making sure I'm trying to catch all of that.
Yeah,
All
it
right,
was
y'all.
Kazam.
Yeah, Kazam. Yeah, I had it confused, which I should have known um, when it came to her. She's been right on a lot of things.
I actually never knew about the Sinbad movie until they started talking about it. Because like when the Shaq Genie movie came out, me and my brother were like teenagers. Well, I was a teenager. He was like 10, 11 years old. Because we're 5 years apart. But we never knew about the Sinbad movie until they started talking about it these last few years.
Yeah, it's again now they reboot a lot of movies, like Dimple Cheek was saying. But to us, it's just a reboot. Some things is good. Like it's like we're like, okay, that bring. Oh, I remember the original movie. I remember the original show, TV show. Oh, and now they rebooting it and bringing it back, but we just look at it as what we grew up on, and at that moment we didn't know what to look for.
Yeah.
And now when they reboot it, of course, the kids nowadays don't even know this stuff that we are discussing here, so it's going to go right over their heads too.
Right. Well, I mean,
You
there's a
know?
lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that as kids, we really shouldn't have been watching. When, because I told my wife some years back because they redid they didn't redo it, but they re-released Ren and Stimpy, and when I was watching it, I was like, we really should not have been watching this as kids, because when Ren and Stimpy originally came out, it was like mid to late 90s.
Right, Demetrius.
So yeah, kids should never have been watching Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah, it was definitely a
Pinky
very
in the
adult.
Brain.
Oh yeah, Pinky in the Brain.
Pinky
Yeah.
in the Brain wasn't bad. I mean, Pinky in the Brain was, Brain trying to take over the world, but no, they had nothing on Ren and Stimpy.
Ren and Stimpy was the original South Park.
Yeah.
Have you all seen the reboot of Fear Factor? First of all, good morning, Michael. No, I haven't seen it. I never really got into Fear Factor, honestly, though. But I do know the show. But I didn't know they rebooted it.
That's like growing up, because I'm aging myself right now.
It's all right. You just had a birthday.
I know, and I can't hang. I had 2 cocktails last night, and I'm paying the price for it today. Back in the day, if anyone's in the Gen X area, my area, that movie Blue Lagoon with Brooke Shields. Mm-hmm. Back in the day, we had no business watching that.
No, we really shouldn't have.
We had no business watching
that. We really
that.
shouldn't have.
Talking 2 13-year-olds trapped on an island, procreating, and I'm
related. Yes, that's the biggest thing that threw me off when I got older. I was like, wait a minute.
Yes.
They related?
Wait, and I'm like, so you're talking about teen pregnancy. I mean, granted, there was nothing they could really do to avoid that situation, but
no.
Blame it on
why should
Demetrius said blame it on Rio as a movie?
We just shouldn't have watched that. It should never been made. We should have never watched it. And then come to find out, Brooke Shields, in later years, her mom was a PIMP too, just like Chris Jenner and all these other ones, these stage mothers. She would make her daughter do things that she really did not want to or have business doing. Go down that rabbit hole of Brooke Shields, and you'll learn some stuff.
Hang on a second, Dimple Cheeks. Michael Johnson, this is what I need you to kind of pay attention to. The Brooke Shields Blue Lagoon, that's not a remake. Yes, they did remake the movie, and they made it to where they weren't related. But in the original Brooke Shields Blue Lagoon, they were related. They were brother and sister. They just, I'm not even going to get into it, but I'm going to need you to actually do your research, sir.
Yeah, but the way that the inner, like when Brooke Shields as a kid would go on talk shows, the way the men would hypersexualize her was
the Jordan
beyond
commercial, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she was a beautiful kid, but this goes to show again the depravity of it all, of being these child stars, no different than the Disney and the Nickelodeon kids. It all goes back down again to the parenting. The parents, these kids were a moneymaker. The parents wanted the money. What did they do? They put their kids in situations that had no business being in. Because I know I wouldn't have made my 13-year-old do a movie like that. Full nudity.
That context.
Like, come on.
Right. Again, we do have to start blaming these parents, y'all.
They're very big. These kids can't make those decisions by themselves.
Mm-hmm. Right, money is the root of all evil.
Yes,
and that's what made them do that, and that's that we can't let them skate on that, because we wouldn't, regardless of the money, we wouldn't let our kids do that. You know. All right, look, y'all, we're gonna go to segment 3. Segment 3 is from video. CRED goes to KOAT. KOAT is, yes, I agree with you on that too, Leah. Leah said greed is evil. KOAT is a news station. It's in New Mexico, but it says allegations of bodies buried at JE's New Mexico ranch prompt investigation calls. I don't even think we need to talk about it. I think it's self-explanatory, but let's just dive right in.
Billions of pages of documents related to Jeffrey Epstein, providing more information on the convicted sex offender's crimes. Among the files, claims bodies are buried near Epstein's Zorro Ranch in Santa Fe County. Tonight, the state land commissioner demanding an investigation.
I'm going to keep asking questions and keep poking around until I get an answer.
Those coming from an anonymous email in 2019 addressed to a local radio host.
Aaliyah Chavez spoke with him and has the details of that email.
Yeah, Doug, Shelley, we're also hearing tonight from the Attorney General's office, who says it takes these allegations seriously, but needs more information to do something about it.
Eddie Aragon says it was early in the morning in November 2019 when he got this email from someone claiming they were a former staffer at Zorro Ranch. Writing, "Did you know somewhere in the hills outside of the Zorro, 2 foreign girls were buried on orders of Jeffrey and Madam G. Both died by strangulation during rough fetish sex."
I got the email. I was startled.
The emailer says they had 7 sex videos, including some with minors, but never actually sent the footage, asking Aragon for digital currency Bitcoin.
Approximately at that time, Bitcoin was worth about $8,000. They wanted in exchange 1 Bitcoin for the videos that they had in possession.
Aragon says he didn't know what to do
I
with
immediately
the email,
thought about
so
what
he
you said
sent it to
yesterday,
the
Bella B.
FBI.
I've since referred to the FBI on a number of other things, and I've never heard back from them on anything.
Fast forward 6 years later,
Exactly,
the DOJ released
Big Mel,
Aragon's email as
allegedly.
part of the Epstein files.
Matters. I think that New Mexicans need answers. I think the victims need answers.
That's what prompted New Mexico Public Lands Commissioner Stephanie Garcia Richard to send this letter to the Attorney General and the U.S. Attorney's Office Tuesday, asking them to thoroughly investigate this disturbing allegation regarding the referenced burials.
We need to get to the bottom of really what happened in New Mexico.
She says she was horrified to learn in 2019 that our state was still leasing lands around Zorro Ranch to Epstein's company.
I canceled the leases at that time.
A month after Epstein killed himself in jail, the land around the mansion totals around 1,200 acres and hasn't been leased out since.
We're thinking to possibly turn it into a memorial to honor the victims, or as some kind of wildlife sanctuary, perhaps. So that's what we're thinking for that land.
Attorney General Raul Torres' office responding to Garcia Richard hours later with this letter. As we understand it, the allegations appear to be unsubstantiated, it says, going on to say they will work to obtain the original files. Once such information is obtained, our office will review it to determine whether any further action is warranted, and if so, the appropriate next steps.
To my knowledge, no investigation has taken place thus far. It doesn't sound like anything is going to be taking place very soon.
The commissioner says she's ready to offer all state land for investigation, but can't do anything about the ranch since it's privately owned, bought by new owners and renamed. Aaliyah Chavez, KOAT Action 7 News.
We asked the U.S. Attorney for a comment. They referred us to the FBI, which declined comment.
Of course they did. Our current FBI is a joke. It's a joke. Shout out to KOAT. Hold on. I want to find. I'm going. If it's all right with y'all, I want to add one more segment, but I need to go find it. So hang tight for a second. Well, while I'm doing that, y'all can go ahead and give y'all a comment on that. Dimple Cheeks. Pink Tech. You go first. We'll go from the bottom up. Pink Tech. You go. You go first, baby mom.
Y'all got to skip me because I had to take a phone call, so I missed all of that.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Dimple Cheeks.
Oh my God, I was on a call too.
That's okay. That's okay. Did you hear it, little brother? I think you got kicked off, right?
Get Big Mel up here. Let him put his 2 cents.
Big Mel, you listen?
Big Mel,
did you hear it all?
I know you heard it. I heard bits and pieces, so I don't want to speak on something then, not be accurate with it.
I appreciate that fully. He may be working or busy too. I found it. We'll go ahead and go with this right here. Hold on. Just saying. Sent the invite. Okay. Just saying. You heard it?
Hey guys.
Hey, did you hear it? Just saying.
I did. And so you know how they always said that they say that they would eat, the bodies and stuff. I always wondered, there'd be a crap ton of bones somewhere. So, obviously they would had to have done something with them.
Right.
And so that makes perfect sense.
It makes perfect sense. And also what Bella B mentioned yesterday about the girl in the mountain.
Yeah. So, and then my question is, how come the new owners wouldn't let them on the land? I mean, if there was bodies on my land, I'd want you to come get them off.
Look, I'd be moving out.
Yeah, here, take it. It's yours. So I don't understand why they're not cooperating either.
Right, I agree with you on that. I don't. That is like you said. We would definitely want to cooperate and make sure everything was found, because I don't know. I'm like this though. I'm like this, just saying. I strongly believe in spirits. My wife don't. I do. I do believe that spirits can get attached to possessions, meaning they can get attached to the land that they lost their lives on. They can be attached to a house that they used to live in.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't believe in that, and I do. So if they're coming and saying, "Hey, we suspect that there's some bodies buried here," by all means, the land is yours. As a matter of fact, I'm getting my suitcase and getting the heck on up out of here.
Yeah, and so are the people connected to whoever bought this house? Are they connected to all of this, and that's why they're not having them search the land?
Well, I'm not sure. They never look up Blue Square commercial. Okay, I will, little brother. Let me write that down.
That's the only thing I can think of is that they're connected.
That's the only way that makes sense. But you notice they never said the people's name who own it now. But here's another thing. So if it was owned by Jeffrey, why didn't they, when the estate was over? I don't know. It might have been sold by the time the people took over his estate. But Yeah, that's that. I'm with you. I'm with you on that, Jesse. And
It
like for
seems
real.
it seems weird. It just seems
Yeah.
weird because yeah, and I agree too. I don't know if it's like maybe spirits per se I believe in, but I do know that energy holds, and when someone dies somewhere, their energy either remains there or the energy gets connected to something.
Right. Right. Exactly. Because that's what we see what we see on each other is just a shell. There's actual. We are energy and frequency. That's all we
Right.
consist of.
Right, and then and that's why there's good energy and there's bad energy, and then that's why there are demonic spirits or whatever because of the bad energy that maybe a
Yes, it is.
serial
You're right.
unaliver left behind, you know.
Exactly. You right on. You
But
right on.
yeah,
And
You have to be susceptible to it. If you welcome it in, a lot of people don't believe, so they don't have that connection.
yeah, they don't have their third eye open.
I'm very big on spirituality. I'm very big on numbers. I'm very big on energies and auras. Last night, for example, I sitting there minding my business, eating my dinner. Chrissy, my birthday was wonderful. Thanks to all of you guys in the morning, and then it continued on last evening, having dinner for my birthday. So thank you for that. So I'm having dinner, and it was a nice quiet restaurant for once. There was a loud commotion. It was kind of empty. And as I'm eating, all of a sudden, my father's favorite song comes on. They had like, music playing, and it was two songs back to back that were my dad's favorite songs. And then I'm like,
He
okay,
was telling
Daddy.
you happy birthday.
Right. I'm like, okay, Dad, I know you're here. Thank you.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, I lost my father 30 years ago. I was 20, going on 21 when my dad died. So I been without him longer than I had him in my life. So I'm like, all right. So, I got like a little emotional, but I continue to eat. And then when the bill came, the bill's total was my mom's birthday, which is January 19th, 1952, and the bill was 119.52. And then the tax was 12.30, and that was when my mom died, December 30th.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, guys, because I'm not emotional enough as it is.
You just gave me goosebumps all over.
So that's, because I talk to my parents all day, every day, and I welcome in energies. That's part of that's a a good thing and also a bad thing about being an empath. And I'm an empath, and that's why when my reactions are a certain way, I think it's because of that. And people, again, it doesn't make a person a bad person if they don't believe that. If you don't believe, you don't believe, but it doesn't also make those that do believe, quirky or okay, you're like one of those type people. No, it's you just either have it or you don't. And spirits and people that either have passed or people that are, believe it or not, still here amongst us, they tend to gravitate, and that's why you get that term energy vultures or energy vampires, because some people will
They just suck the energy right out of you.
Your light is so strong and so powerful that people just gravitate to you, and sometimes you gotta like set that boundary and pull back because they'll just take so much out of you.
And a lot of people aren't open to it, so they can't necessarily understand.
That's why they don't have those experiences because they're very closed off to it. So a person's not going to come to you if you're closed off because they know that you're not accepting of it.
Yep.
I want
100%.
Let me first and foremost, let me say this real quick. Shout out to you, my little niece, Ariana, she's in here. Y'all go and follow her. Ariana with a smiling face. She finally joined. Jazzy joins a lot too. They're sisters. Those are my niece. And yes,
Aw. Hi,
I know they're a different
nieceys.
color. Those are my nieces. Like I said what I said. Okay.
Color ain't
Those are my
nothing.
nieces.
I turn colors in the
Right.
summertime. I turn red. I turn tan.
I get it. But listen, since we were talking about that though, Dimple Cheeks, Jess, and we was talking about that. And again, I'm not pushing it on people. However, I do want to make a suggestion to someone or a reference to someone who I've started following over on YouTube. And those who don't and may think that we are weird or different, his name is Matt Frazier. Go on YouTube and listen to some of his things. And in fact, some of y'all who may have issues with a person or a loved one already passing on, he may just be able to help you all. So, Matt Frazier is his name, and he's really good. And when I say that, I don't mean just people. I'm talking about even with your pets. He touches on that too, and yeah, I'm not gonna get too much into it on here, but yeah, y'all go and check him out. Matt Frazier, Frasier. Check him out. Check him out. Um, I want to go. I want to play something. I just snuck this one in here, but I heard it today when we were on our sister Straight Facts live. She brought it up at the tail end, and I'm driving as I'm listening to her show, and I heard her talking about this. So I wanted to go and find more out about what she was talking about, and just to tell y'all, MAGA is different. To me, it's a cult of people who have completely became unattached to any type of humanity or any type of moral or anything like that. Their moral compass is just smashed. It doesn't work. And this is why it's so important that we point out what the cheddar color cult leader keeps saying and how he's wrong and how people, you just got to stop supporting him. And I don't say that just because I don't like him. Let me rephrase that. I don't like his ways. Because I can't be a child of God and say I don't like somebody. I don't like their ways. I don't like his ways. So when Straight Facts had played the story, I went and checked it out, and it's wild, y'all. So it's a MAGA dad, his daughter, after she trashes the cheddar color cult leader. Do y'all see how extreme that is? I want to make sure we are all on the same level of understanding that is too far. You're at the point of no return when you are okay with unaliving your own child because they didn't agree with a political stance that you have. All right. And so, Lori, bestie, that's what I was like. When Straight Facts brought it up at the end of and understand she ended the show. So she didn't really get to go into it, but she played it or she mentioned it, and then the show ended. So that's why I had to go and try to find out more myself. Well, somebody was speaking. I thought somebody was speaking. But I found this content creator, I don't know who it's a really American and US democratic socialist, I guess is what it says. But he's talking about it. He's mentioning it. So let's just listen and see if we can get more on that story. But y'all ain't gonna never hear it if I don't mute it for y'all. Unmute it. That's really something we all need.
MAGA is dangerous, flat out, for your safety, for the country, and for your family. We all know that the cult puts the MAGA doctrine over themselves. They're willing to excuse anything so long as Trump, owns the libs, even if that means killing your own family for bashing Trump. That's what seems to have happened to Lucy
She's
Harrison,
adorable.
a British woman visiting her father in Texas until she dared to criticize Trump and her father shot her. But don't worry, folks, this happened in Texas, so you can be sure that the MAGA lunatic is facing justice. Just kidding, of course. The horrendously evil so-called
No
justice
charges
system in my home state of
over
Texas
British woman.
let this guy walk.
Pew pew. In
And
the
the
US.
reason is so egregious that it makes my blood boil. Folks, this story serves as another example as to why my international friends out there should not be visiting the United States, not at least while Donald Trump is terrorizing the country. Be sure you're subscribed for the news that MAGA does not.
Are we okay with this? Are we okay with how other countries are viewing our country behind the actions, thought process, words of this one man?
Have you guys looked
okay
at
with
international news lately?
No, the only thing I watch is I've seen Al Jazeera.
No, like I'm talking about other countries, all of them. If you can even Google it, and it will show like excerpts of their news stations and all the stuff that they're saying about America and all the things that they know that about our country or us, things that are happening that we don't even know.
Oh yeah, because their
Crazy.
news don't filter, pretty much, for lack of a better word.
Right. And you don't want to go anywhere other than the United States because supposedly this is the best place to live, right?
That's what they led us to believe.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And
yeah.
then other
Bella B said, "I'm
countries,
literal living proof."
their leaders who came out in the e-files, they're actually bringing charges on them.
And we're not.
Nope.
This is sickening, man. This is sickening. And to think that this dude pew-pewed his daughter and got off scot-free, y'all. And I think he said this is Texas. Man, what has our country came to?
Texas
I
don't
think
play around. Texas
I
does
don't-
not play around.
I think it's always been like this, and we just haven't had the information at our fingertips like we do now.
Yeah, yeah, I have to give you that, baby mom. Yeah, you're right. As usual, you're right on that. It's in real time. It's upfront. We don't have to, you know, wait for somebody that was there to witness it to come back and tell us it's right there. You know, this is wild, man. Like, and I I don't have no problem with. Well, let me rephrase that. Every time we've gone through Texas, on the way through going to the West Coast, on the way coming back from the West Coast, there's always been a storm in Texas. The first time we did it, we just came through Dallas, and my oldest daughter, Kirsten, was driving. It's storming, it's raining. We're listening to the radio station there in Dallas, and they saying watch for tornadoes and everything. And my baby was pushing that Sprinter van, getting us through there, But and then every time we come back, it's like I got it somewhere in my phone. The storm was so bad, the lightning it crackled the sky, and then it looked like it hit a building or something, and from the back you seen the spark. Like Texas just ain't. It's never been fun, you know. Big Mel, that's where you at 214. Listen, man, the only thing I like about y'all, well, you now that I know that you there, you and high school football. That's it. Oh, and the Dallas Cowboys. Well, don't laugh at me. But and little brother, don't you say a word. But that's all I like, man, because it's always something going on there. And so for this man, for whoever the judge was in this case, to get this in his courtroom and say, or basically come to the conclusion or the judgment that it is okay for what this father did to his child behind she was bad talking the cheddar color code leader is diabolical. When you take in the reference or take in the context that, and my criminal justice people out there, if you went to school for criminal justice, you know, but you can indict a ham sandwich and this dude don't get indicted for something like this. But then it goes to show what we've always talked about here. It's people say, well, why don't they go to the police? Why don't they? And what we tell y'all, sometimes the police, the attorneys, the judges, they're all a part of. So when you think of how we grew up thinking was, well, until we became teenagers, right? But we grew up thinking police was protect and serve, right? And that is true. They do protect and serve. We just are not included in that. Okay. They protect certain people and they serve certain people that sit in higher positions. All right. We're gonna finish out, y'all. I just wanted to point that out.
Want you to hear, and let's get into it. This is from the BBC because there's a shocking lack of American reporting on this. It says, Dad shot daughter after, quote, arguing about Donald Trump. This is Lucy Harrison, a British citizen whose father moved from a place that has universal health care and a working public transportation system to Prosper, Texas, because he just loved being a conservative shithead, I guess. Texas is like the Mecca for divorced dads. Lucy Harrison from Warrington in Cheshire was shot in the chest on the 10th of January 2025 in Prosper near Dallas. Police in the town investigated the 23-year-old's death as a possible manslaughter, but no criminal charges were brought against Chris Harrison after a grand jury in Collin County declined to indict him. That's right, the geniuses down here in the Lone Star State thought that this guy should get off scot-free. Because you know why they call it the Lone Star State? Everyone here is so drunk that they look up at the moon and say, look at that big-ass Lone Star. Now, we'll get to the lack of accountability after this, but let me tell you about what actually happened. An inquiry into Lucy Harrison's death opened earlier at Cheshire Coroner's Court, where her boyfriend, Sam Littler, described the big argument about Trump, who was preparing to be inaugurated for his second term in office. Littler, who traveled to the United States with Lucy Harrison for the holiday, said she would often become upset with her father when he spoke about owning a gun. The inquest also heard how Chris Harrison, who moved to the United States when his daughter was a child.
This is for educational purposes only. This is not the views of hashtag I'm going to say it. All right? Leave us alone.
Had previously been to rehab for alcohol addiction. Littler said on the morning of the 10th of January, his partner had asked her father during the Trump row, how would you feel if I was the little girl in that situation and I'd been sexually assaulted? Chris Harrison had replied that he had 2 other daughters who lived with him, so it would not upset him that much. Littler said Lucy became quite upset and ran upstairs. Now, this woman, Lucy, decided to visit her shithead father here.
Hold on. Let me make sure. Let me slow that down. Littler said on the morning of, can y'all hear me good? Is my mic loud enough? Littler said on the morning of the 10th of January, his partner had asked her father during the cheddar color coat leader row, how would you feel if I was the girl in the situation and I'd been sexually assaulted? Her dad responded to that. Y'all heard that, right? Y'all heard me read that? I just need one in the lives to make sure y'all heard me. Let me see them ones. All right, double cheeks heard me. Okay, so y'all can hear me loud and clear. All right. This is her response. This is her dad's response to her. Chris Harrison replied, that's her dad. Chris Harrison replied that he had 2 other daughters who lived with him, so it would not upset him that much. Who in the wide world of F's that's a good parent could say that to their child and apparently mean it? Apparently he meant that comment. Why? How do I say that? Why do I say that? I say he meant that comment. Why? Because he unalived her. Now, I only went to college 1 year, man, for criminal justice. I partied my way out of West Georgia. And every day, I feel bad about that. I do. I'm mad at myself because I didn't apply myself. But what I did learn is that in the court, if they could take a statement like this and apply it to what happened, and he should definitely have been incarcerated, charged, and they might even made that premeditated. He wouldn't care that much because he has 2 other daughters. And so Lucy ran upstairs, according to her partner, ran upstairs. And she became quite upset, as she should be. I'm not for a child being disrespectful to their parent or disobeying their parent. But when I say that, I also have to speak on the other side of the coin too. I also feel like parents have to earn the right to be respected. I can't even.
In Texas, who basically left her when she was a kid on the other side of the earth in order to live some MAGA fantasy here in the States, and as a result, said the most disgusting thing that the father could possibly say to his own daughter, not long before doing the worst thing that a father could possibly do to his daughter, either because he's a drunken idiot or a drunken psychopath. And I'm leaning towards the latter. Lucy had been in the kitchen when her father took her by the hand and led her into his ground floor bedroom. Lidler said he heard a loud bang about 15 seconds later, and then Chris Harrison screamed for his wife, Heather. Lidler said, "I remember running into the room and Lucy was lying on the floor near the entrance to the bathroom, and Chris was just screaming, just sort of nonsense." The statement from Chris Harrison said he and his daughter had been watching a news item on gun crime when he told her he had a gun and asked if she wanted to see it. They went into the bedroom so he could show her a Glock 9mm semi-automatic handgun, which he kept in the bedside cabinet. Harrison said he bought the gun a couple of years before because he wanted a, quote, sense of security for his family, the traumatic irony of gun ownership. He denied ever discussing having it with his daughter before. He said, "As I lifted the gun to show her, I suddenly heard a loud bang. I did not understand what had happened. Lucy immediately fell." Harrison said he could not recall whether his finger was on the trigger. He acknowledged he had issues with alcohol in the past and said he, quote, briefly lapsed on the day of his daughter's death because he was emotional about her leaving. Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but this story from the dad sounds like a load of bullshit. You just needed to show your progressive daughter a gun that she wouldn't even want to see when you're so emotionally distraught about her leaving that you couldn't even remember if you pulled the trigger or not. Now, generally, having shaking hands and being emotional is not when you want to handle a gun. And why was it pointed at her at all? I mean, it seems strange that he would grab her and lead her down to the bedroom as well. I mean, the whole thing seems suspicious and obviously criminal, or so I would think. But
Yeah.
according to a grand jury in Texas, this man likely didn't break any laws, and so he wasn't charged at all, to the dismay of literally everyone, including Lucy's family. Here's the headline again from the BBC. No criminal charges over British woman shot in the U.S. Miss Coates, who's Lucy's mother, said a grand jury, which had since reviewed the case, concluded that the evidence didn't meet the threshold for criminal charges. This means that, as far as they are concerned, there will be no criminal charges for the person who shot Lucy. She added her family found it baffling and beyond comprehension that there would be no accountability for what happened to my daughter. The international element, coupled with a different legal system, practice, and thresholds, makes the outcome.
Even if he didn't get premeditated on a boy, I almost got to boy. Even if he didn't get premeditated on a lot, manslaughter at least. I think he should have gotten. I think it was malice unalive, actually, and I think he should have got life without a chance, without the possibility of parole. But even if you didn't want to do that, at least there's grounds presented for manslaughter.
I mean, if this was a first 48, he would be convicted
Immediately, and they probably wouldn't have even need the whole 48.
Heck no. I mean, it's obvious. But had you done that and called and said, "Hey, I showed my daughter my gun, and now she's dead," they would have immediately handcuffed you, and you would be in a jail cell.
Period.
And probably
it wouldn't even be
sitting
up for
in there
debate.
for years waiting for a trial.
Yes. And they would have taken the comments I made to her when I said I wouldn't have cared whatever happened to her because I got 2 other daughters. And then moments later, I whisk her to a room and man, I wouldn't even, they probably would have gave me a cell without a window. I wouldn't have seen daylight ever again.
People better be happy that we have lawful court and not moral court, because them cells will be packed to the gills.
Yes, they had to be building a new prison.
Yes, because morally, how do you do that? You don't even have to like your child, but she's still your child. What are you doing?
Exactly.
Like, what are we discussing here? It's not. I don't care that 12 people disagree.
Right.
The rest of the world is like, wait, what? So does that give me the right?
That makes sense.
Does that give me the right to go off doing that now to everybody? Because Lord knows nobody ever agrees with what I say sometimes.
I'd be out
because
just
I would be like
around.
Rambo. I would be like Rambo.
Hey, good morning, Bessie. How you doing, Sh00ts?
Get me my headband.
Right. Y'all, I am sick behind this. And I'm sick behind it.
That's horrible.
Yeah, it's not even a color
now look at the other 2 daughters. They're like, well, we ain't saying nothing to this man. Because he's definitely off-hinged.
Yeah. And again, y'all, we're not laughing because it's funny. We're laughing because
I'm just like,
how did we get here? Like, what is this? What is this?
What is happening?
Thank you for the star. Yeah, like, are we really hearing this correctly? And to your point, what? And not only the daughters, what does the wife think now? Like, how? I don't know. Wait, I don't know. It's
wild.
Become even harder and more frustrating to accept. Now, the exact legal reasons as to why there were no criminal charges brought weren't given, but it's likely that the grand jury thought the shooting was accidental, and while handling a gun while drunk is illegal, not in the great state of Texas it's not, Here's from the Texas Penal Code. A person commits an offense if the person, 1, carries a handgun while the person is intoxicated,
right there in the penal
and
code.
2, is not A, on the person's own property or property under the person's control or private property with the consent of the owner of the property, or B, inside or en route to a motor vehicle or watercraft that is owned by the person under the person's control. So if you're drunk with a gun in your house or boat or car for some reason, well, then you're good to go. What's that? You accidentally shot your libbed up English daughter from your ex-wife who left you because you're a drunken idiot? Well, no worries. This is Texas. As this user with the very apt name puts it, that's insane, being able to turn a first-degree murder charge into a whoopsie by getting drunk first. And it's absolutely insane how this isn't even a joke, really. MAGA will not only not talk about this case, there is a 100% chance that Lucy's own father still supports Trump. No way that he now suddenly understands the dangers of gun ownership. He won't accept that the Second Amendment intended for ownership to accompany training and regulation through some sort of militia. Nope, no, he'll just blame the liquor and the liberals and go back to living his shitty MAGA life. That's what all of these cultists do. And that's according to this amazing study by More in Common, titled Beyond MAGA, a profile of the Trump coalition. Now, ironically, it starts by making the argument that it's not a cult, it's a coalition, to which I would counter that the cult part would be these people, the MAGA hardliners. These are the people who make up 29% of the overall Trump voting party, and they will do anything for Trump, literally anything. And you can see from this chart that they're still with Trump to this day. I still feel mostly confident in my choice. 98% from the MAGA hardliners. Hell, it's 92% from the anti-woke conservatives, 85% from the mainline Republicans, and even the reluctant right is becoming more supportive of Trump recently, not less. So what does that tell you? Well, for one, if you aren't already stuck here in the madness, then you should not come here. That's why dozens of human rights organizations have warned against traveling to places like Florida for the upcoming World Cup. Here's from WLRN. Human rights organizations in Florida issue tourist travel warning ahead of the World Cup. Florida is no longer a safe destination for international tourists. When federal and local agents can detain anyone at any time without cause and without identifying themselves, everyone is at risk, said Tessa Petit, executive director of the Florida Immigrant Coalition. And they issued this for good reason. Florida, ran by meatball Ron DeSantis, is maybe the most violent towards immigrants and tourists alike. They parroted Trump's visa restrictions on dozens of brown and Muslim countries from Afghanistan all the way to Yemen. Clearly racist, as Trump only wants white Europeans to come over to the States. But they don't want to come over here either. Tons of countries are rightly warning their citizens not to come. Here's from the CN Traveler. Countries are warning their citizens about traveling to the U.S. amid ICE protests. This is a wake-up call for the United States government. The world's biggest travel and tourism economy is headed in the wrong direction, not because of lack of demand, but because of a failure to act, said WTTC's president and CEO Julia Simpson. While other nations are rolling out the welcome mat, the U.S. government is putting up a closed sign. Here's the list of countries that have issued travel advisories so far. Not exactly the kind of countries that Trump was intending to scare away, but hey, art of the deal, right? And these countries are absolutely right to warn their people because stuff like this is happening. Irishman held in ICE detention says he fears for his life and asks Ireland for help. An Irishman who has been held by ICE for 5 months despite having valid work permits and no criminal record says that he fears for his life and has appealed for help from Ireland's government. Seamus Colton says that conditions at his detention center in Texas, wouldn't you know it, were akin to torture, and that the atmosphere was volatile. I'm not in fear of the other inmates. I'm afraid of the staff. They're capable of anything. Folks, I cannot stress to you enough that if you do not have to come to the United States right now, you probably shouldn't. If ICE doesn't rough you up, your deranged MAGA American relatives just might. Be sure that you're subscribed to Really American for more news that you aren't going to see on the mainstream media. I'm Tony Hinderman, and I'll catch you next time.
Man, shout out to him on that. For being an independent podcaster that brings this to life and brings it to the masses, because clearly our mainstream media don't do it. This happened over a year ago, y'all. I was today years old when I found out about it. Man, I got 2 more segments to do, and I don't even know if I want to do them today. I don't even know. Hey, how you doing, Yvette? How you doing? Thank you for the goats. I appreciate it. I don't even know if I don't even know. Like, after hearing stuff like that, I'm gonna tell you. Hold on, let me go ahead and set this up. Let me go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and handle our business. But I might have to end up saving this for tomorrow, y'all, because I don't want to get started and then have to go pick up Rudy. But it's not just race that also divides our country. Hey, I appreciate you dropping in. You know you're welcome anytime, beloved. I appreciate you. I hope you're having a good day and being safe out there. I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the show anyways. So you're not going to miss nothing. Come back tomorrow. All right, Dimple Cheeks. I see you mañana. Take care. Thank you for joining. It's not just, hold on, let's get the theme song. Let's get our theme song geared up. Man, I can't even believe we just heard that. All right, y'all. So check it out. You have a good day too, Bella B. We'll be back tomorrow, Lord willing. I hope to see your pretty face there. Listen, it's not just racial divide that we're going through right now. Oh, Lord Bestie, thank you for the wink. I appreciate it. It's morality. It's character. It's compassion. It's compassion too that's causing the divide. And it shouldn't be. Like, we should all be mature enough to know right from wrong. But when you have people who commit an undoubtedly gruesome and heinous crime and walk away from it, and you have people who have been all because they were trying to drive away, or you have people that were all because they was trying to help a female who was pushed down by another guy, and nobody sees that the issue that a man put his hands on a woman. Not on that side. All they see is, oh, it was a ICU doctor who was trying to be a terrorist. And what are y'all saying? What are y'all saying? He was trying to help a woman that a man had violently pushed to the ground, which is what he should have done. I think it's time that we say, forget about it don't concern me. I think it's time we just stop saying, well, you know what? As long as it don't happen to me, I'm not worried about it. I think it's time we all stand up for what's right. I don't know. I know we always make the statement that they don't want us together because if we came together and united, they couldn't defeat us because we would be too strong. I don't know how freaking hard that is for people to get. I don't understand that. Listen, we can't change it by ourselves. But by damn it, we definitely ain't gonna change it by sitting on the sideline doing nothing and serving Gatorade to the players that really want to go out there and try to defend our democracy. So I say, if you sitting on my sideline and you ain't out here fighting for this democracy, fighting for what's right, take your freaking uniform off and get the F off my sidelines. Because that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna speak. I'm gonna get shut down. I'm gonna get banned. I don't care. Because at the end of the day, I know I can face myself in the mirror, knowing that I did the right thing. I know that I can face my kids, my wife, my entire family, and my friends, my real friends, and they'll know, hey, he was doing what's right. And until we get there, man, it's going to be some issues. It's going to be some problems. We're going to continuously seeing this stuff going on. Millie, I agree with you. Tax-free. Millie she's brought that up to me in our messages, y'all. And I agree with her. I agree with Millie. So, Millie, I love you, girl. You right. Matter of fact, here you go. Here you go. I love you, girl, because let me tell you something. That's really where it's going to start hitting at. We stop paying our taxes and stuff like that, and they don't get our money. That's when they start to wake up, because that's all they care about is money and power. So if we stop giving them the money, we take their power. It's been your self-proclaimed favorite news reporter, Mr. Breaking News, signing off from the newsroom. Peace and blessings to you all. And to my real ones, I love you to life.